This is The Shield, and they're back in the WWE. And these are the greatest factions that the modern day WWE has ever seen. Today we're going to find out if the Shield can take these factions down and capture gold along the way to solidify themselves as the greatest faction of all time. And it all starts off at Raw after SummerSlam, where the Shield will make their surprise appearance by attacking CM Punk in the main event. This will lock CM Punk and Dean Ambrose into a rivalry, while Seth and Roman will be taking down teams to try to rise in the tag team division. And although these three guys must win gold along the way, there is a challenge that they must complete. And that challenge is that all three members must hold a Raw Championship by the end of WrestleMania. And if this challenge isn't completed, well, we would have to just relive the brutal history of Seth Rollins breaking this faction up once again. But that doesn't seem to be the case, because the whole month of August, the Shield will go 6-0 in the win-loss record, and at the beginning of the month in September, Dean Ambrose will pick up a major win against Jey Uso, heading into the PLE Payback. But although Dean Ambrose got the win over Jey Uso the week before the PLE, CM Punk will get the last laugh by beating Ambrose in the main event of Payback, and in their rivalry once and for all. But even with Ambrose losing, doesn't affect the Shield entirely, because next week's episode of Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns will be granted a tag team title match due to them going undefeated for the previous month. But even with the two going undefeated, they would fall short to the tag champs in the Judgment Day. They made a great return, but are losing big matches early. And although they are losing these huge matches early, it doesn't stop them from picking up wins along the way, because all three members will go 6-0 once again for the rest of the month of September. But with the wins come absences, because the Shield would miss the whole month of October and would not be seen on the Bad Blood PLE. But even though they will miss another PLE, they will then make their anticipated return on the first episode of Monday Night Raw in the month of November, where Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins will pick up the win in the opening match against the Creed brothers, while in the main event, Dean Ambrose will pick up a win against Jey Uso, keeping their continuous win streak intact. And with the Shield picking up the wins, next week's episode of Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins will find themselves back in a title match against the Judgment Day, as well as with Team Awesome Truth, while Dean Ambrose would have the night off. But with Rollins and Reigns having to compete in a triple threat tag match for the titles, Finn Balor from the Judgment Day would get a sneaky win over R-Truth, keeping the Judgment Day title reign alive. That's already two opportunities that Seth and Roman had that they couldn't capitalize on, unfortunately. Now it is the second to last week before the end of November, and Dean would still not be seen on the card, but his Shield brothers and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins would be, and they are going up against the Team Awesome Truth, which they pick up the win. Ambrose must be sick, since he isn't showing up on these cards. It's not looking too great for the Shield as of right now. And with Ambrose not being seen for a couple of weeks now, it has been confirmed by the WWE that he will miss further action due to an elbow injury. And with it now being the month of December, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins will find themselves locked into a rivalry with the New Day, which will last for the entirety of December, with both teams getting victories over one another. This will lead into a huge tie-breaking match on the first episode of Raw in the year of 2025, and for the month of January, which Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns will pick up the win, putting them back in the #1 contention spot for the Raw tag titles. And for the rest of the month of January, Rollins and Reigns will continue to pick up wins and even pin one half of the tag team champions in JD McDonough on the Go Home show of Raw till the Royal Rumble. Now it is the Royal Rumble, and with Reigns and Rollins defeating the New Day and pinning JD McDonough, they would find themselves for a third time in a tag title match against the Judgment Day to kick off the show. Is the third time the charm for these two Shield brothers? Let's find out. And I guess it is, because Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins would finally win the Raw Tag Team Championships to be the first to bring gold to the faction. Okay, Seth and Roman actually brought gold to the faction first. Now Dean Ambrose have to be the last to do it, and all three members must hold the championship by the end of WrestleMania in order for this challenge to be complete. Now it is hard, but If Ambrose can stay healthy, they can get it done for sure. But now it is the most anticipated match of the night, the 30-man Royal Rumble. And in the Royal Rumble, there were bodies everywhere. We got to see Ricochet make a surprise entrance. We even got to see Randy Orton and John Cena face off in the match for the final time. But the biggest surprise of the night was when the clock was ticking down for the last superstar to make their appearance at the 30th spot. The Shield music would hit and Ambrose will make an unexpected return from injury, securing the last spot. This had the crowd hype, and what made the match even more interesting is that Cena would get eliminated from the match, which would make his farewell tour for the chance to win the 17 world title more challenging. But although Cena would get eliminated from the match, out of nowhere, Bronson Reed will eliminate Dean Ambrose as well as Sheamus, winning the Royal Rumble and making today's challenge even more difficult to complete. Wow, Dean Ambrose with a huge return at the Royal Rumble, but can't cap it off with a win, unfortunately. And with Dean Ambrose's chances of competing at WrestleMania for a guaranteed world title get slimmer, we still have the PLE Elimination Chamber where it can most likely occur. But it is now the month of February, and on Week 1 episode of Monday Night Raw, the newly tagged champs in Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns would not compete on the card, but they would manage Dean Ambrose in the match against Drew McIntyre in the main event, which Dean Ambrose picks up the win. And for the rest of the weeks of Raw, the Shield would go 4-0 before the PLE Elimination Chamber. Now it is the Elimination Chamber, and in the main event, Dean Ambrose would be competing in a 6-man Elimination Chamber match for the world title. Just by looking at the participants in this match, Ambrose have a slim shot at winning this thing. And I was correct, because Ambrose would lose in the chamber match and Drew McIntyre will become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Well, that's unfortunate once again for Dean Ambrose. And from Week 4 episode of Monday Night Raw all the way till the end of March, the Shield faction would go 7-2 in the win-loss column, with the tag champs and Rollins and Reigns carrying the load. Now it is April, and on Week 1 episode of Raw, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns will be defending their Raw tag titles in the main event against the Creed brothers. This is most likely the only time these two are going to defend these titles until WrestleMania. Can they keep them? Can they make the challenge a little more easier for Dean Ambrose? Let's find out. And just like that, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins would retain their tag titles in the main event. Now we are on the Raw Go Home show to WrestleMania, and Dean Ambrose would go up against Jey Uso and lose that match, while Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins would go up against Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and pick up the win. Momentum is definitely not on Ambrose's side right now. And with it now being WrestleMania, in the opener, we would see that Drew McIntyre would be defending his world title against CM Punk. Wow, I guess Triple H took Bronson Reed's opportunity and decided to go for a real life rivalry. Great job, Hunter. And although Dean didn't make the card, Roman and Seth did, and they would pick up the win against Awesome Truth, keeping their tag titles with them. So with Dean not capturing the gold in 1 year, we are about to relive history one more time.
This superstar can now enjoy victory. Oh, what? Oh, no, not the steel chair. Come on. This is absolutely heinous. Totally uncalled for.